Give you a quick run through of this 2 SMA Open strategy that I recently have been implementing that I came up with. And I'm going to try to keep the video as short and sweet and simple as I can. So let's just say, any stock you got pulled up here, say Oscar. You want to go to the 1 day time frame, okay? Easiest way I do that is I go down here and I just click 1 year and it pulls up the chart, and that's 1 day. Then you want to go to indicators and you're going to type in simple moving average, and you're going to add this to your chart. Okay, I've already got one pulled up, so I'm going to turn mine off really quick. So you can see this pulls up, but you want to go and you want to change it. So go to your icon there, and you're going to change this to 2, and you're going to change it to open. So this is what the price opens at, whether it's a green day or a red day, this is where price opens, okay? And I change the color usually to like orange or something that is going to stand out from the rest. You can make it thicker if it helps. So I'll keep it thicker for right now, just so you can see it better on the chart. So the basic concept behind this is when the bars close underneath the 2 SMA, or not close, but like sit below, like the body of the candle. When that's below, you want to be out of the trade or trimming your trade, okay? And when price comes down and the green bars now are sitting above the candles, that's when you want to be in the trade. So as you can see, sometimes things can get choppy and things can get crazy, but overall, if you were to get into a trade when the candle starts to come over top of the 2 SMA, you're going to be in the green. No matter how it wicks down, right? As long as it's over top, you're in the trade. Now, you're not going to be able to time the top with these. You're going to have to use your other indicators, such as, I like to use the Chillmaster Elite with the buy, trim, sell labels that pop up, and some of the other indicators. And I also like to use trend channels and trend lines that I create, which helps a lot in determining when to sell. So example, I will turn this on really quick, and you can see with my trend channels, the blue up here is my previous high. That's where I would be trimming or selling. And then down here is the lows where I'd want to be buying. So as you can see, Oscar right now, it's above. So if I owned any, I would be trimming out of this position. But ultimately, with the 2 SMA strategy, you don't have to have the trend channels. You can just follow this, okay? So as you can see, when price flips over, you want to get in the trade. And if this is at a good support level, as we know Oscar was at the time, it was super beaten down. Getting in here is a great place. It's much better than getting in here or getting in here, especially when price, as you can see, is trending down, because you're going to have these pop-ups, but ultimately it wants to go back to that main support. So, and once it gets to that support and it flips, it's even better at buy. So as you can see, Oscar right now is all the way up, and you basically would just hold this until it flips. And why would you hold it? Well, because, you might say, oh, here's the top of the trend channel. Let me get out of this, which I've done before. I've done it on BE. I've done it on a bunch of different stocks where it's hit the top of a trend channel, and I'm like, this is great. Let me just sell it all. And then it keeps running, right? So if you had trend channels on this, they'd be down here somewhere at the time, or this would come up, and then your trend channel top might be somewhere here or here. So again, if you look at a stock like SNDK, it's one of the most bullish charts you can look at. Let's say you got in here around 260, you would just ride this all the way up. you get this little red candle. That doesn't matter. At the time, in being in this trade, it might have felt like, oh no, it dropped below, it's going to go down, let me sell, or whatever it might be. But as long as it's above that 2 SMA, you're just going to stay in it. So I'm not sure why my thing is not loading here. There we go. So again, you're not going to time the top, but this starts to turn over. And right here is where you're like, all right, you know what? Let me get out of the trade. And just real quick, so you know, I'm using the Heikinashi candles on here just to help keep it a little bit cleaner. And then again, when price flips over, you could buy back in. So now you don't necessarily want to be in this chop of selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, right? That's kind of annoying. But at the same time, imagine this comes all the way back down and you didn't sell because you're hopeful that it's going to go up there, but it never does. So that's why with this on the daily, when this happens, you just trim or get out of the trade. And then when it flips back over, you buy back in and do the same thing. And you can see if you were to buy here and sell here, you're making money. You buy here, right? And then you're just going to ride this. So this came all the way up. I'm sure people were like, oh man, this is like almost at 1,000. And then it drops down to 875 and they're like, oh crap. But if you look at it this way, it's going up. It's good. Even the other day, you can see we had that big red day. SNDK, the day before yesterday, was all the way up at $1,600 and came all the way down to 1,364. I imagine for many people who owned it, they were like, crap, let me sell. This is going down. But again, we're above. Now, right here, as you can see, this candle for today is on the verge of potentially being a red candle underneath, which would be potentially a good place to sell or trim and protect yourself for any potential downside. So let's go see if there's any other stocks I can go look at really quick. So I know Iran has been one that everyone's been pretty excited about. A lot of people rode it all the way up here. As you can see, there's a red candle. Would we sell there? No. We would just hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Comes up. Don't sell here because it might keep going. But when you get this, now of course you don't want to be the person selling here because this is where, price opened, price closed. And as we know, everything has an up and a down, right? So ideally, you'd probably be selling over here on this candle, trying to get the highest price you can. And then when it flips, you'd buy, right? You'd sell, you'd buy, comes all the way up, and you'd sell. And if you've got all your trend lines, you would know we're at the top of trend channel support, same with over here. So when this price comes up to here, you would see that you've got like a trend channel coming down, and you would sell. It comes under, you'd sell, right? And all this is kind of the chop. But when you start getting to the bottom of a trend channel, again, 2 SMA, you're going to buy. You're going to hold it up. You're not going to sell. You'd probably sell here, and then you just buy right back. And as you can see right now, Iran is underneath this 2 SMA. So ideally, for myself and my positions, I would be out of Iran at the moment and just waiting to see what happens. Now, most likely, there's a trend channel right here, short-term trend channel. This is going to come down and test it just like this. So I might stay in the trade until here and see if it holds. And then if it does, I can just add to my position and go higher. But, with the 2 SMA open rule, you could sell here. So yeah, so that's it, guys. I hope that helps. Again, I use this alongside with all my other indicators as well, but as a standalone tool to look at, it really helps to see what's happening and what side of the trend you're on, because real quick before I go, I had bought, before I was using this, I bought Palantir the other day, thinking, hey, it's close to my trend channel. I love Palantir. They're gonna they're gonna beat earnings and they're gonna be amazing. And I had bought over here somewhere, and now we're just down. So now I'm down from $140 to $130. So ultimately, you know, I don't want to be in Palantir right now because I don't know how low this is going to go. Again, I've got trend channels and other indicators that I use that help me determine where the bottom might be. But I want my money to be in stocks. I want my money to be in stocks and trends that look like this, that are moving up, 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 up. I don't want here. I don't want to be holding. I don't want to just be like, hey, I love Palantir. It's turning red. I'm just gonna hold. I'm gonna hold, and then I'm all the way down here to March, right? When this happens, I just want to get out. Try not to get faked out with some of this stuff. But if it flips again, just sell. It doesn't hurt to buy, to sell. Might take a little loss or something, but at least you're not going to ride it down for this big thing. And just like this, you see the big green candle up. Well, the next one was red. Same with these, right? None of these really did the thing. This is where you want to get back into Palantir. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're buying and trading stocks for the long term. 3 months to a year, whatever it is. It's just open up the 2 SMA, open daily, and then take a look, see where it's at. Is the stock bullish? Is it bearish? Did it just flip? Is it a great time to get in? Or did it just do the opposite, where maybe you don't want to buy right now? Maybe you want to wait a little bit. So I think it's a good thing to add to your trading strategy and keep an eye on when you're making trades. Hope that helps you guys, and let me know if you have any questions.